Hello.
Hello, good morning.
How you doing?
Most people are based in the US, right?
Actually, we have a fair number of people from Europe, to be honest. I think right now, this time of year, we may get more people from the US, but in general, we get a fairly good European contingent there, especially from Germany.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and then we got one guy from China, I believe. So, yeah, he shows up every single week, and I feel for him because it's like, midnight or worse his time. So,
I know, yeah, that's exactly 12-hour difference.
yeah. Yep. But he always seems chipper, so he must be a late night person.
So am I.
Yeah. Hey, Christian.
Hey, Doug.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
Doug, do you know if Juneteenth is considered a bank holiday yet, or if they're considering that?
I have no idea, to be honest. I don't usually pay attention to holidays, so I don't know.
That's fair, yeah. Yeah, someone brought that up, and usually my company takes bank holidays.
I don't know. I thought I saw some headline go by recently that talked about Congress doing something with Juneteenth or something like that, but I don't know whether that was just recognizing it as something or turning it to a holiday. I don't know.
Right. Well, I guess I'll just read up.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. I've got meetings and stuff already scheduled on it, so.
Yeah. Especially in this environment where a lot of people you work with are in different countries, the odds
Exactly.
of, unless it's a major holiday like Christmas or something like that, chances are not everybody's off. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I also noticed it's gonna be Canada Days in 2 weeks. A few of us are, I believe, are from Canada. I know Lou is also from Canada.
Oh. Which day is that?
July 1st, so
July
it's in 2
1st.
weeks.
Okay. Oh, that's a good point, though. So in the States, I guess we're going to probably, if anything, people might take off. Yeah, people should be back at work on the 8th for the July 4th, unless they're taking the whole week off. Oh.
Yeah, California's open, so.
That's what they claim. No, wait, are you living in California right now?
I am. I spent most of my weekend stuck in traffic, so that's how I knew.
I know, it's so funny. I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, yeah, it's great that everything's starting to open back up. Overall, that's goodness. But I'll tell you, I do miss, people not being on the roads, not being in the stores. It's like the deadness of it was actually kind of nice for a while there.
It's like everything's opening up, and my desire to stay inside has just gone up. So.
Yes. Now, I thought I had heard that in California, even though they're opening up, some places require proof of vaccination before they let you in or something like that. Is that true?
That's a good question. I know my Safeway says if you're not wearing a mask, you are pretty much saying that you are vaccinated. So trust system there.
Yeah, because that's kind of the way it is here in North Carolina, where it's like the honor system. They say wear a mask if you're not vaccinated or something like that, but they don't actually check it. But I thought I saw some place where some things in California were actually going to formally check you or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I am carrying my card around for that. So we'll see.
So what's interesting about that whole thing is I would love to actually talk to somebody who actually understands this stuff, but it seems to me that this whole HIPAA thing, right? Because with HIPAA, I can't find out diddly squat about my child's health. Once they get old enough, like to go to college, they're like completely separated from me, and as a parent, I get squat anymore. It's like, okay, fine. But then if that's true, why can businesses, why can airlines, why can anybody ask me if I've been vaccinated? Doesn't that seem like some sort of violation of my privacy?
They
Yeah,
can
that's a good
ask.
question.
They can ask. You don't have to provide it. So it's the right to not provide it, but then they have the right to withhold whatever service they're providing to you.
I guess if you think of it that way, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It just seems like even them asking shouldn't necessarily be allowed. I mean, I guess anybody can ask whatever they want, but I don't know, to get on an airplane, they shouldn't necessarily be able to ask me, you know, can they ask me if I have cancer? Can they ask me other personal information? I mean, how
Yeah.
far can they take this and then say no because, oh, you haven't had a vasectomy yet. Sorry, you're not allowed on the plane.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think vasectomies are contagious.
No, but you know, it's still, it's just how far are they allowed to take this? You know, I don't know.
You know that everything is recorded, right? No,
I know. I
It's
was trying to think of the right kind of medical thing to say that wasn't too bad, but I decided to go for that one.
because like it's 9 a.m. I just joined the meeting and wow,
Yes.
like wrong meeting.
Yes. Well, usually it's Amy that does the recording. So Amy, if you're listening or doing the recordings, you can chop. You don't have to start the recording here. You can wait a couple of seconds. Okay, let's see who is there. Jesse, you there?
That was me with the
Oh,
vasectomies
that
talk.
was
so
you.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I
I'm
forgot.
good.
Yeah. Okay, Tommy.
Yo.
Yo, and good thing Ginger didn't hear any of that conversation. So hi, Ginger.
I heard one word that I'm a little concerned about.
Well, let's just say it doesn't apply to you.
Like I haven't been here for 2 weeks. I'm like, maybe Cloud Events has changed their direction.
Well, no, see, without you here, we just gone straight downhill, you know? Oh my gosh. Let's see. Christoph.
Hi.
Hello. And Manuel.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah. I guess maybe we probably should have waited for Clemens to join the conversation before we started heading down that path, because if we're going to pick on anybody about that, it should be him. All right. Boy, we're getting small groups in the summertime. Let me ping some folks.
Is there a trend to the I guess loss of attendance there? Was there a big company that's no longer representing?
I don't think so. I think it's just a slowdown. Let me see. Actually, I don't know if I can easily.
Yeah.
That's too long of a list. Forget that. Plus my
Yeah.
computer, my Mac just does not like that web page. I got to go a completely different machine every time I go to that spreadsheet. It just completely kills it.
Yeah,
Let's
it looks
see.
like starting around May, that's when we started dropping down about 10 people.
Yeah, kind of weird. Hey, Klaus.
Hey, Doc.
Yeah, it's weird. For the longest time, we were, for what, like well over a
20.
couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to blame it on summertime. So either that or Clemens pissed everybody off, one of the two.
What?
Hey,
Seems
Clemens.
likely.
Yes, I know, doesn't it? All right, it's 3 after. Let's see. Do I have everybody? Clemens, Christopher, Tommy. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. All right. Okay, anything from the community if you want to bring up that's not on the agenda? Okay, John is not on the call, at least not yet, but he did say something about the C# SDK. Version 2 has now been released, so woohoo. Congratulations to those folks. We are supposed to have a discovery interop call this week. However, last time I checked, there was nothing new on the agenda. So it's probably going to be a very, very short call and the usual nagging people to do their implementation work, but we'll see how that goes. KubeCon, nothing going on there. I haven't heard anything about the co-located events. Ginger, you're more up to date on this stuff than I am. Have you heard anything in terms of co-located events for anybody, like whether they've made a decision for anything?
I haven't yet. Last I saw, it still said that they were waiting to put out like package information, but that's for physical colos, not the virtual one. So I'm not sure
Right.
what
Okay.
they're doing for that. I did see I don't know if you guys saw the Linux Foundation announcement that KubeCon will be proof of vaccination attendees only.
I did not see that. Interesting.
Yeah,
It's
Linux
related-
Foundation put a statement out yesterday, day before, that said most of their events for this year through KubeCon North America will, for in person, you have to have a proof of vaccination.
Interesting. I did not know that. Okay. Well, that goes to the previous conversation we were having before the call started.
That's going to be interesting how that works internationally.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That might
Yeah, and
explain
they're-
one of the mailing list on the kernel. I don't know if you saw like Torvalds like destroy a German guy who was complaining about vaccine on the kernel mailing list. So it might be related. Maybe he saw that and didn't.
It's going to be some interesting times coming forward. All right, cool. Well, thank you, Ginger. Oh, hold on a minute. Hey, John. All right, I don't see Timur, so I don't have any updates from the workflow. Okay, before we get into the issues and PRs, are there other topics people want to bring up? Because to be honest, aside from the very one small little PR that I opened yesterday, which is just fixing a link, I just have a backlog of issues to talk about. So if anybody has any other issues they want to bring up, we can just let me know. Okay, even though I opened this yesterday, we did talk about it last week in terms of what is the right link to use. So this is just an update to the webhook spec with the link to this. I believe, Clemens, just double check me, this is the page you intended to point to, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Any objection then to approving this one? Easy enough, cool. Okay. Okay, so let's go through the issues then, the backlog, so we can get those down. So John, would you like to introduce this one since you're now on the call?
I can. I believe that the state of that is I'm going to consider this as part of the bigger versioning work that I haven't really started yet, in terms of how do we group aspects of specs, and do we really want to make it impossible when we get to 2.0? Do we really want batches to enforce, no, you can either have 1.0 or 2.0, but not both together? So there's no update on this. It's still on my plate.
Okay. One of the things I was wondering was whether we should create a bucket of potential 2.0 work items, because as you said, we probably don't want to break 1.0 for this, but maybe move this into a 2.0 bucket just so we don't keep bumping into it.
I would suggest adding a label or a milestone would work for that. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in on this one? Okay. Any disagreement with then moving to a 2.0 bucket or milestone or something like that? Okay, whoops. Okay, cool. Thank you all. Eric, wanted to follow up with you on this one and see what, if anything, you'd like to do with this. I know there was some discussion going back and forth, but is there anything actionable from this one that you'd like us to do?
I'm pondering. Well, I think I expressed it in words, but I would like there to be history in these systems, but that I think I wrote well. I feel I'm involved, but I'm not committed. So I don't feel like I should exert that over the group. No, no one is jumping up to say, oh, that seems like a reasonable thing. So perhaps we close it as not now or something like that.
Okay, I don't mind closing it. If that's what people would like. Are you sure that you would not like to take a first pass at creating a PR?
I can see about making that. I think I've got allocation now.
Okay. Do you want me to leave this open until you decide one way or the other?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so however, if you don't open a PR in the not too distant future, then we may come back around to you and say, hey, what's up? Just so you know.
Seems reasonable. Okay.
Klaus, on this one, actually Klaus or Clemens, I guess, since I pinged Clemens on here. Either of you have any comments on this one?
Yes, that is still an open issue. I have a I think I have an open an issue open on this, right? So we have a yeah, that's something where I dropped the ball somewhat. We had an internal discussion in Microsoft about this. Because we're doing that wrong. And we're doing that wrong because everybody here should remember, but we basically picked a field name from HTTP for a mechanism that is not the mechanism that we wanted. So now we have an overloaded mechanism, and the mechanism that we describe is actually using that field illegally.
Well, so hold on a minute. I was looking for the other issue because we have this one as well. Is this the same issue?
That might be that. Yeah, yeah. I do wonder. Yeah, so that's the one that's broken.
Right.
That
So is this? This one's different, isn't it?
It's been almost a year ago. I have to remember. I did some research and I think it was something simple, but right now I fail to recall what exactly it was.
On the example, so there's a bad example.
Yeah, something like this. I think it was should be a quick fix.
Okay, so that we should fix. If it's an example, then we should be able to fix it quickly. So sorry, I was thinking it was the other one. The other one is like is like doing taxes. Like I'll do this on the last day possible, and that hasn't yet. Yeah. So I will take care of it at some point.
Okay. Is this the one? So is it just as simple as that word is wrong?
Yeah, I think that's
yes.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh heck, even I can handle that one. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That's why I suggested to that person to open a PR to maybe pull him more into that project. So.
Okay. Well, Klaus, do you want to open the PR since you?
I can do that. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Why not? If you wouldn't mind. Okay. Just to spread the fun around. Hold on. Oops. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's get rid of you, and you. So Klaus, you opened up this issue.
Okay. Yes, I did. No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why don't I have your name on this? Oh, I think because your PR made this change.
Okay.
Yeah. So So inside here, if I remember correctly, sampling this one, what's interesting is we never actually say what the name of the attribute is. We used to, but your PR removed the name. Let me go back in history. Hold on a minute. How do I go back in history on this darn thing? Oh, there it is.
Would have been by accident somehow because I don't really recall doing anything with it.
Yeah,
this
let's
extension.
do this. go away. Okay, right there.
I sometimes did some changes where I had to fix general things across multiple files. And
Yeah. So I think, okay, maybe I'm misreading it, but I was assuming value here is not the actual name of the attribute. I thought it was like, used to be called sampled rate or something like that. But in the latest version, all we say is value. So are we missing the attribute name someplace?
it's true. It looks a bit odd this way.
So what would the attribute name be? Clemens, do you have any opinion here? Because I'm not this, or maybe, oh, not necessarily Clemens, because it's sampling. We used to say, we say in-memory formats in a couple of different places, and I think in our extensions, but I never understood what in-memory format meant.
Yeah, neither do I.
Should we just decide that sampled rate is the value or is the name of the attribute we want to use and just do a PR around that and see what people think?
Yeah, without the capital R though.
Yeah. Okay. So hold on a moment here. Create a PR to call it. Good golly. Sample rate. I can take that AI. Does anybody think that's the wrong direction to go though? Okay. Anybody else want to comment at all about this? Otherwise, we'll just head that direction and review it again when the PR gets created. Okay. Thank you all. Next one. Okay. So I'll let everybody read this one very quickly. So my interpretation of this was we should probably close it because I'm not sure I understand the difference between initiator and source.
That's my first reaction too.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Does anybody have any different view on it?
Yeah, I think we have a similar concept and a bit of a pain, but there is like a source and there's someone changing it so that so for example, we have our meeting notes and Doc makes a change. So then the source is the meeting notes document, but Doc is the initiator. And then if, I don't know, Clemens makes a change, then Clemens is the initiator. That would be the idea.
I see,
But
okay.
Yeah, it kind of gets confusing, especially if like events flow through the system and you're not really sure if that person is still the initiator or if they'll go away. Yeah.
It also introduces the notion of users in a sense. And that's something we also kind of avoided since we also avoided authentication and stuff like that, right?
There's a field in MQP which is called user ID, I think, which nobody uses. So yeah, that seemed like a good idea at the time, but it's also like in the world that we're in with various token formats and the security stuff getting more and more complicated. There could be very many different variations of this thing where it's not, maybe this would be a token of sort, maybe that would be a reference of sort. So I'm leaning towards having these things as extensions, but might make sense to make it an extension if people use it.
Yeah, and I think that the model here is a bit simple. You can go down in a lot of complexity here. Like maybe you want to say, did I do this over the web app or did I do this over the mobile app?
Yeah. So we have,
like, for example, you do an import, you import something, then essentially the importer application did this change on behalf of you, but it was part of the Excel file you uploaded or something. So it can get really complex quickly.
Defining common semantics around this will be a problem. So for instance, we have another example in Event Hubs in Azure. We have a notion of a publisher policy where you can go and you get a token and you can go and send to an Event Hub events, and we will go and look at the token. We will validate that you have a token for this publisher name. And then because we validated this, we are going to go and stamp that name, the initiator, if you will, onto the message. But if you give us a message with that publisher's property set, we will wipe it out because we can. It's a value that's effectively set by the broker as a trusted thing, so that the consumer really knows that the message came from a particular party. So that's another effectively variation of this field, but it's none that the client would set. It's something that an intermediary in that case would set. So that's probably, again, that's again probably different semantics from how that was thought here. Is that it's really the initiator, whoever is creating the event, would use such a thing. So I think we could find multiple iterations of this where then you want to have, you really want to have the initiator, but then you also want to have the publisher all at the same time, and now you need to have two fields. So that's a pretty deep rabbit hole.
Okay, so based on what I've heard, I took some notes. What I'm going to do is this. I tried to put down what I think I heard, right? We don't know what the semantics would be. We weren't necessarily excited about getting into users because they're rat hole. But someone could define an extension if they wanted. And then, maybe they should consider this to be part of the event data itself, right? This wouldn't necessarily be data that we expect people to do routing on per se. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, we do that sometimes because we differentiate. Basically, is there a person who did this or was this a system? Then we do routing. But
interesting.
Yeah. But again, it's like super hard to define it commonly. I would also say it should be part of really the event itself.
Yeah. Okay. But it sounds like in general, we're saying close it. But if this person or anybody else is interested, they can open up a PR to make an extension, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any disagreement with closing it with these comments?
Go ahead.
Okay. Not hearing any disagreement. Cool. Okay. Moving forward then. Okay. So a long time ago, we were talking about possibly renaming the word service in the discovery spec to something else. I haven't heard anybody offer any alternatives. Yeah, go ahead.
Klaus?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
I feel like there's a secret cabal here. Go ahead.
No. So we have been talking about that service object, and I think there's different names for concepts that we've been using here. So I think Klaus has an event package. Was it?
Yes.
Event package.
But that's an interesting point because that event package we are discussing all the time may contain multiple services as they are defined here.
So you think that the service notion here is still applies?
But yeah, at the time I did a lot of thinking regarding this term service here. And I think a lot of the examples we are discussing here are referring to well-known services as, I don't know, a blob store or something like this.
Okay.
I had some difficulties then to map it to our world, where we have those application servers and tenants and services that are specific to a tenant, or the different tenancy models and so on. So I'm not sure what exactly service will be in all the cases, but I also failed to come up with a better term.
Okay.
So
okay.
Well, yeah. So one thing we'll do is, so right. I think the service right now is kind of just an aspect of a particular operation, right?
So yeah, to give a concrete example, in our case, I suppose a service would be an application instance for a specific customer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's put it this way.
So similar to a tenant, yeah.
So we've gone over a year without anybody having an alternative.
Close it.
Yeah, I'm inclined to close it, and obviously we can reopen it if someone has a better word for it. But
yeah,
in terms of cleanup, I'm inclined to say we close it.
Yes.
Okay. Any disagreement? Okay. All right. What is this one?
Oh, the bag.
Yeah, he wants bags.
No.
Thank you. Anybody here? I'll let, whoa! How did I manage to do that? I'll let everybody read the top entry first. Does anybody want to reopen the bag discussion?
Coming with a very loud sigh.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Well, considering your previous conversation, I'm saying maybe it's related.
Yeah. Anybody disagree with closing the issue? I'll find the right comments.
Especially if it was associated with the previous conversation, we should definitely close it.
Yeah. Oh my. I apologize. It took me a second to get there what you were implying. Ginger.
It was very, very subtle, and I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Props to her on that one.
Yes, Clemens, you missed that exciting conversation. Okay. Oh man. I'm sure that was completely inappropriate there, Ginger. I'm deeply offended.
I have to leave at the bottom of the hour, so you guys are welcome to pick it back up.
Okay. I have a headache. Okay, so I'm sorry, I need food. Okay, so that was the end of the issues that I had managed to make it through in terms of cleaning up the backlog a little. I'm assuming of the open PRs, there's no updates from anybody. I know, Jim, you were on the call and you said you didn't have any. Anybody else have any comments they want to make in any of these backlog PRs?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Is there any other topics people want to bring up?
Only checking whether anyone asked a question whether I ought to reply to while I was out picking up kids.
No, I did mention your SDK stuff.
Yes. Woo!
Woo, yes. But no.
Cool.
Okay. I mean, I guess we could just end early. I'm sure no one would object. And I'll try to find some more issues for next week. But please, okay, well, let's back up here. So how do we not just stall out, right? We have several specs that are in the works. It's not clear to me where they are status-wise, other than I know they're not complete, right? I mean, by that I mean I don't know whether they're still like at 1% complete or they're at 99% complete. I suspect they're somewhere closer to 50%, but I have no clue. And one of the ways we were trying to help, I guess, determine this was through the interop testing we were going to do, but that seems to be stalling as well. So my question for the group here is, any suggestions on how to address this? Because we need to start making forward progress here.
Would it be worth having, for the next few calls at least, a sort of a discovery-oriented meeting where we devote half an hour of it to maybe someone who's working on discovery presenting where we are, what the challenges are, as a sort of invitation for comment and a status update for those of us who aren't following that particular thing as closely. So just focus on one particular area per meeting for a bit.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. I'm just trying to figure out the actual mechanics of it. Are you suggesting that maybe we volunteer somebody and say, hey, your job is for the next meeting to look at the discovery spec and present where you think the gaps are or which you think the status is, and then see where that leads us? Or you think of something different from a mechanical perspective? I don't want to just show up next week.
From a very lazy perspective of someone quite new, it would be quite nice to have a from scratch, right? Here's the problem we're trying to solve, just to inform those of us who haven't been bothered to read all the specs, and reinforce it for people who may have become too close to it, perhaps. So here's the overall aim. Here's progress we've made so far. Here's things that we, a brief overview of stuff we need to do that we're not too worried about, and stuff that we're really stuck on, and maybe somebody who hasn't previously been involved in that topic could give a hand.
Okay. So let's do this. Tell you what, let's bring back. So of the specs we're talking about, we have obviously discovery. Boy, if we had a different organization to this to the repo, it'd be easier, wouldn't it? Subscriptions. We have the schema registry. Pagination. Right? Is there anything else that's subscriptions? Is that really it? Expression language. Can anybody think of any spec that I'm missing?
Is expression language as in the SQL C?
I believe so, yes. Let me just double check. I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it. Hold on. Yeah, we don't even have them listed in here. I should probably do that.
Maybe go to your PR that puts everything in different directories, and that directory structure probably tells you exactly what we need.
That is an excellent point. See, you're so smart, John. Okay. Of course, let's see. Oh, wait, I summarized it. Schema, subscription, discovery. Yep. Okay, I think we got them all. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to pick on Clemens to own this one, to drive that discussion, since that's his area. I will talk to Slinky to see if he can talk to this one. Since I think I took the lead on writing this one, I don't mind taking that one. Would anybody like to, let's do this one first. Would anybody like to volunteer to be the focal for presenting the subscription spec?
I think you can use the UI I build to explain the implementation, but The only thing is, like, I'm expecting like a new baby within weeks. So no offense to the group, but if I have a baby coming next Thursday, I won't be in the call.
The conversation seems to be circling back to a particular topic a lot. I don't quite understand this, but okay.
So yeah, I didn't go
there
through
anyone
the
not
bad
on the call
experience
that
you
would
were talking earlier in the meeting,
Yeah.
obviously.
John, what were you trying to say in there?
I was going to say, if there's someone who is the natural victim, I mean volunteer for this, who is not on the call, then that feels like an obvious solution.
Yes, I just don't, I can't, honestly, I cannot remember who took most of the work in writing up the subscription spec,
Right.
other than, wait a minute, that may have been Clemens.
Yeah, I guess.
Clemens, am I remembering it correctly?
What?
I think it was you. You're not even paying attention, are you? We're looking for owners to sort of lead the discussion on a future phone call.
I own subscriptions too.
That's what I thought. You okay with me signing up for 2? Whoops.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Anybody want to volunteer? Oh, good golly, where am I? Anybody want to volunteer for discovery?
I think that's something I can do.
Excellent, thank you. I was going to volunteer for that, but you took it. Excellent. Okay, so.
And by the time I end up doing, organizing some thoughts around versioning, I'm happy to do a little presentation on that front. It's not sort of like the others, but it's I'm happy to do something similar.
Okay. I'm sorry, John, wait a minute. You said you want to do that for what?
For when I've got a proposal around versioning and clumping specs together and what that means for governance and branches and things,
Yes.
then I'm happy to be that to be the focus of a week, as it were.
Got it. Okay,
But
thank you.
I'm a long way from being ready to do that. Arguably, giving me a due date for it might make it happen. But
Yep. Okay. So does everybody understand what they're going to be doing? Right? You're going to provide a summary of the spec, you know, why we're creating it, its status and stuff like that, and then provide a list of to-dos that we know about that need to be done on the spec, things that you discovered while preparing for your presentation, in terms of things that you think are missing, things we're stuck on, stuff like that. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, and I'll reach out to Slinky, but that should give us something a little more concrete to talk about next week, and hopefully that will at least identify the things we need to work on to feel like we're making good progress.
so which of these do we take as next week?
Yeah, I was going to say that next. Anybody want to volunteer? Personally, I would love to do discovery because I think a lot of our work tends to focus on discovery as one of the primary specs. So we'd love to get that one out of the way first. But Klaus, I know that puts you on the hot seat.
So I have to work on that topic anyway. So.
Okay. Okay. In that case, Clemens, I don't feel right having you go 2 weeks in a row. Would you be okay with taking maybe subscriptions next and then moving schema registry after pagination? Clemens, you still there?
Yes. So how are we thinking about time here?
John, you had an interesting idea. I think you said maybe spend half hour going through the presentation and discussion around that. So I think if we leave.
That was, yeah, very much a finger in the air. Let's try it and see what happens.
Right. I think we need to reserve some time for either new PRs that come up or new issues, or trying to get rid of our backlog a little. But I think if each presentation assumes half an hour, around a half hour, I think that'd be good.
Okay. So the idea is that we're effectively presenting it.
I think you should assume worst case scenario, people stay really quiet. So yes, the presentation, but I am hoping it leads into a bit of a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't plan on presenting for 30 minutes. I would expect, if you've got enough material, as it were, to tell us about things for quarter of an hour and then quarter of an hour of discussion. And if that quarter of an hour of discussion doesn't happen, then so be it. But that feels roughly right time-wise to me.
Yeah, I mean, just so you know, what I liked about John's proposal was that it gave us something concrete to to do or figure out what the next steps are supposed to be, right? So if this person can take that first pass and say, hey, I reviewed the spec, I think we have gaps here, here, and here, then we can look at that and say, okay, great, yes, we all agree those are gaps, and then we can look for volunteers and try to force some PRs to get done and move, try to have a forcing function for forward progress. So that's why I like the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
My only reservation about the idea is that I might find too many topics interesting and end up taking on more than I should. It tends to be the way of things, but I will resist hard.
Yes. Yep. And we also need to make sure that we don't rattle too much on the discussions on the call, because we can easily take up the entire, hour on one particular topic. So we need to know when to say when and take it offline.
From a scheduling perspective, we're running into the real vacation time.
True. So let's do this. Let's the next one after that is July. Will you be around July 1st, Clemens?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Whoops.
And I yes, I will be.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I'm here the July 8th. You'll be here July 15th?
That is as of yet unsettled.
Okay. I'll pencil you in. And I'll reach out to Slinky, see if he can do July 22nd. Okay. If we need to change the dates, we can change the dates, but at least we have something to shoot for. Sound fair?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any other topics we want to bring up? And thank you, John, for the idea, for helping move forward. I appreciate that.
One additional thought for this last topic. I wonder if we only should look at each of those specs separately, or if we also need some, I don't know, some overview how they are fitting together. You could call it the vision. I don't know.
It's an interesting idea.
Especially discovery and subscription, I think, are closely related.
That seems like that should kind of come before everything too. Do you want, well, I'll tell you what if we take 5-10 minutes at most on next week's call to provide the vision?
Okay.
And I don't mind signing up for that. And Klaus, did you want to do it?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Well, the reason I don't mind doing it is because I think it sounds like something that we were sure already have material for, because we basically presented the vision in previous KubeCons and stuff. So I think I don't mind trying to do that. But
I was just thinking, for example, in the discovery primer, or we have a common primer for subscriptions and discovery. I think that this use cases section is pretty much empty yet. So.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I can do that, but it'll be just a pretty short one though. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. That's a good idea. Okay. Anything else related to this topic? Okay. Let me just double check. Does anybody have any topics related to the discovery interop call? Because otherwise we're going to cancel that. Okay, not hearing any. In that case, Lance, are you here? Oh, hey.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey. And Lou, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Okay. Did I miss anybody for the attendee list? I don't think so. Okay. Last chance. Any other topics for people to bring up? All right, cool. We are done then. Thank you all, and we'll talk again next week. Have a good day. Bye, everybody.
Bye, folks.
Bye.